Hey, what's going on, people? It's your boy Chris. Yeah, decided to make another video because I don't know. This just whole seems kind of senseless to me. But before I even start off, got to give a shout out, a special shout out to Mickey. Yeah, this, I'm going to title this "They Killed the Loosie Man" because this didn't even make any sense to me at all. For those of you who don't know, when I say Lucy, I don't mean like as in Lucy and Linus. I mean like loose as in loose, Lucy as in loose cigarette. Now, for those who don't know, basically that's all it is. A dude. They have guys who get, I don't know, they get discount cartons of cigarettes and they'll take the cigarettes and they'll sell them loose cigarettes, or they'll even sell a pack for like at discounts on the street. To actually, all right, if you've ever seen a person holding doors for you, asking for change, whether it be at a restaurant, a pharmacy, a McDonald's, whatever, a lot of times as soon as they get enough change for $1, they'll go and run and buy a loose cigarette, because for whatever reason, when it comes to dope fiends and crackheads and stuff, I guess that nicotine takes the edge off when they feed it. I don't smoke cigarettes or smoke anything, so I really don't know how that. But apparently, yeah, the Loosies, that helps them. They're not the only ones who buy Loosies. Regular people buy Loosies too. But it's a small time hustle. It's as far as I know, it's just a misdemeanor. You get arrested 10 times for it. It's still going to be a misdemeanor 10 times you get arrested. So when I saw this video, I saw like about 5 or 6 cops, coming after this dude to arrest him for, selling Loosies. I'm just like, it looked like it was mad overkill to me for that. Even I'm just like, for such a small crime. And then for homeboy to throw him in the chokehold and throw him to the ground. I mean, I kind of knew it was going to come down to that, because it looked like from the video they was rapping with him for a while, and he was just like refused to be handcuffed, and you knew it was going to be physical, because the cops, cops look like, from one of the video, they was actually rapping with him for a while. They didn't just run up on him and just try to throw the bracelets on. They was rapping with him, but apparently he just wasn't having it, saying they was arresting and all of that. Now, if he's been arrested for selling Loosies before, he already knows more than likely they're going to take him down there. He's going to, get RR, released on his own recognizance, and, be back on the street, and, get his court date later on. And even then, he's not going upstate for selling Loosies. He's not going to a federal jail for selling Loosies. So, to me, he should have just turned around and let him throw the bracelets on. He probably would have been home, if he might have spent the night in jail, would have been home the next day. But I'm not trying to blame his death on him, because, that cop, threw him in the chokehold. I guess he got tired of talking to him, but, that's an illegal thing, that I think they did that back when they killed Anthony Bias for hitting the police car with the football, where they choked him and killed him. But, in a way, I'm kind of tired of, because I know this has happened so much at the police things. You already know the situation. Everybody's going to get outraged. And the only thing at the end of this, the cop who actually put him in the chokehold and threw him down to the ground is probably the only one who might get in. So he might lose his job. Who knows? They might throw him in jail, because I have to believe that's what happened with the cop who killed Anthony. I think his name was Baez. I think he was a Puerto Rican guy in the Bronx, got killed, but I think he went to jail too. But you kind of get tired of this whole thing, because it's just like it just gets so crazy, and it happens. It doesn't happen all the time, but the thing is, people get real crazy about a situation like this, but they don't get crazy. We kill each other every day. I mean, black men kill, we beat, stab, kill each other every day. And actually, we do the same thing now. We beat, stab, kill our women, and we even kill our children from time to time. Enough times for it to actually. But, we can do that, and I guess it's normal. But, whenever the thing happens to be a policeman, then, it gets crazy. Because I'm actually surprised this was like the biggest story of the week. I thought the biggest story of the week would be what happened to that Jersey City cop when, dude tripped out and ambushed him and killed, can't even remember the cop's name. It's a Hispanic cop. But, I was like, man, that was messed up. And then his wife, often said she took everybody with him, and then the blood supposed to want to kill him. I was like, wow, that story, you would have thought that was something out of a movie, out of a B-grade movie. Like, it was almost like, if anybody remembers the movie The Warriors from, like, back in the day, thought that was from the script from The Warriors or something like that. You wouldn't think that was some real life stuff. But then this story happens, and this is all over the Loosie Man. I mean, the cops But all these cops trying to take down the Loosie Man, I'm like, I don't see, that just seems like this isn't a drug dealer, it's not a armed robber, it's the Loosie Man. I'm like, it just seems ridiculous. I mean, it's still, selling Loosies is a crime, but it's not a crime. I mean, that's why it's a misdemeanor. It's not like I don't know. It just seems so over the top, who's the Loosie Man, like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't even know what that Lucy stuff is about. And I guess if you stay out on the street long enough and sell enough Lucy, you can actually make some money. You ain't going to make $1 million off of selling no Lucy's, though, so, I don't know. But the whole thing is just like, I don't know, it just seems like it just seems, like I said, senseless. It's like, that's the Loosie Man. You going through, you bringing 4 or 5, 5, 6 cops to take down the Loosie Man, and then all of that stuff goes and ends up being dead. I'm just like, it just doesn't make an ounce of sense. But it happened, so, and the man is dead, so it's just crazy. I feel sorry, his wife. I feel sorry for his wife and his kids. It sounded like he had, he had one wife, had all the kids by one wife, so not like they can say he's like some dude just like, jumping from woman to woman and leaving his kids high and dry and stuff, so, I don't know. But like I said, but I think what we have to do is, it's almost like, what, black people, we need to wake up and realize that they look at us as wild animals. A lot of us, we say we want respect, but the black community is kind of like living a double life. We want to be able to kill each other left and right, day in, day out, but then we want people to respect us like we're the model minority. Like the model minorities are the Asians, that they're the model minorities. We aren't. We killing each other every day. We expect people not to be scared of us. We expect people not to respect, like those cops, it's not just aggression, that's fear too. He's a big black man, they scared him, but even if it was a small black man, they scared of black people. They say, look, if we killing each other left and right, then we'll kill you too. So, it's fear. I'm not saying that man deserved, because he definitely didn't deserve it. In fact, if I was one of those cops, I'd be like, yo, why do we need all these cats just to get some dudes selling Lucy's? If I was a cop, I'd be like, yo, do we need all of these cats here just to get some dudes for selling Lucy's? But, I think we need to realize, these people look at us as wild animals. So if a cop is running up on you, all the stuff the man, he can say all the stuff he said, but, it came time for the cops to put him on the bracelet. He should have just turned around and put his hand behind his back and let him put the bracelets on. It's like I said, he would have been home the same day or the next day. He would have been out, for selling Lucy's. I mean, I don't know, it just is senseless. But we have to realize that that's how they look at us. I mean, it's hard to tell people just like, that's like telling people just turn around and do what the cops tell you. That's basically just saying like, bend over and let them do it. I'm not saying that, but, generally if a cop has his mind to arrest you, he's going to arrest you, and he's going to be on, what is that, RoboCop? One way or another, you're coming with me. Yeah, they're going to be on some shit like that. We're like, you can turn around and we can take you in, or we can fight it out, and then we'll take you in, but one way or another, we're going to take you in. They especially got that attitude with us, like they look like they talking for a while. Like if he would have been a white man, you might have talked with him for like, a couple more minutes or something like that before it came down to that. But when it comes to us, it's like, the fuse is real short. They might rap us for a while, but then it's going to come time to throw down. But like, you can let me know what you think about what I said. And like I said, I wanted this to sound like an anti-cop thing, because most cats know, you can't go anti-cop, because a lot of cats know, when you get locked up, who's looking out for your family when you get locked up? And then your boys might try to look out for your family for a little bit, but sooner or later they got to do their own thing and take care of their own peeps and stuff. So, that's only going to be for a short while. If something happens on the street, to the family, you call the cops. The cops, dude locked up for years. Who looking out for your family? The cops. So you can't be anti-cop, because the cops do us bad. Nobody kills us more than we kill each other. Anyway, that's my view. Thanks for listening, people. Peace.